the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
General Manager Ryan Poles' big swing could land the Chicago Bears this big-time playmaker on offense. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. First and foremost, Bears fans, happy Sunday to every single one of you guys. I hope you guys had a very, very good weekend. You guys are ready for another great week. On today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of a hypothetical situation. As we all know, the one thing that we all know about our general manager and Ryan Poles here in Chicago is that he is always remaining aggressive to upgrade the roster. It seems that he is always prepared for any opportunity to make the Chicago Bears better. And during this offseason, he did everything right. He got the hot candidate head coach in Ben Johnson. He upgraded the interior, the offensive line, and the defensive line. But the one area that seems that Bears fans are still kind of pressing the table about is the lack of upgrading at the running back position. Of course, you still have DeAndre Swift, which Chicago Bears fans are kind of 50-50 on. And then they also invested a 7th-round pick in Kyle Monangai, and Monangai has definitely been turning heads early on this offseason for the Chicago Bears. Definitely looking forward to seeing what Monangai does during training camp. And then, of course, you have Roschon Johnson, Ian Wheeler, and Travis Homer in your running back room as well. But it actually seems that an opportunity is arising for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears to actually upgrade the running back position. And once again, this is just a hypothetical scenario on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. I'm not sure if you guys are keeping track of the Buffalo Bills situation, but it seems that the Bills and star running back James Cook have reached a contract dispute. He's looking for a contract extension, and he is definitely not happy about it. Adam Schefter on his recent podcast actually talked about the scenario and the situation going on with James Cook and the Buffalo Bills, and he said this, Bears fans. He said, you've got a guy who's unhappy with this contractual situation, has basically disconnected himself from the organization and the city. So it seems that James Cook is fed up. He believes that he should be paid. And he, just like Adam Schefter said, has officially disconnected himself not only from the Bills organization, but the city of Buffalo as well. So my question for you guys on today's episode of Keek on the Mic is, should Ryan Poles look into making a big-time trade for James Cook? And you can go ahead and answer that question down below in the comment section, and I'll go ahead and explain why I feel like it would be a big-time move and a big-time upgrade for the running back room here in Chicago. A proposed trade for James Cook probably wouldn't actually cost that much. A trade for James Cook would actually look like this, Bears fans. The Bills would receive a 2026 4th-round pick, and I can also see the Bears throwing in DeAndre Swift as well. And then, of course, Chicago Bears would then receive James Cook. A little bit more about James Cook, if you guys are not aware of what Cook has done over the last couple of years in the National Football League. He is still only 25 years old, stands at 5'11", 190 pounds. And when you look at a player like James Cook, this is a complete back the Bears have been looking for. They have been looking for a 3-down back. And I know there's a lot of Bears fans out there saying that DeAndre Swift will be just fine behind this upgraded offensive line, which I totally agree with. When you look at the numbers from DeAndre Swift back in 2023 with the Philadelphia Eagles, he had a very good year. So I have no doubt in my mind that Ryan Poles decided to, remain patient and just say, hey, we're going to trust DeAndre Swift and what he can actually be in this offense with this upgrade offensive line. I would also be fine with that scenario. But when you're looking at, once again, James Cook, 25 years old, could be a complete back for the Chicago Bears. He's coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for the Buffalo Bills, had 16 rushing touchdowns in 2024, has 4.42 speed, so you can obviously imagine what Ben Johnson would be able to do with a guy like James Cook here in Chicago. And he also has the ability to be a receiving threat as well. Had 97 catches and 7 receiving touchdowns in 3 seasons for the Buffalo Bills. So here is the main problem with trading for a guy like James Cook. I don't think giving up a 2026 fourth round pick and even giving up DeAndre Swift at this point wouldn't be a huge deal for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. The problem at this point is, would James Cook be willing to sign a long-term extension with the Chicago Bears? Cook wants a new deal around $15 million per year. And to me, when you look at his numbers, he has been very consistent, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. I have no doubt in my mind that that same success he's had with the Buffalo Bills would translate here in Chicago, just due to the fact that we have an upgraded offensive line and you have Ben Johnson calling the plays here in Chicago, and he would definitely have a big plan for James Cook and the Chicago Bears uniform. But $15 million per year, Bears fans, is a very steep asking price, especially for a running back. Here is the thing. If you do trade DeAndre Swift in order to land a guy like James Cook, that would free up $8 million in cap space, which would give the Chicago Bears around $20 million total in cap space, which that would also allow them to absorb that new big contract extension that James Cook is looking for. So to me, Bears fans, once again, this is hypothetical. I'm not saying this is guaranteed to happen, but if Ryan Poles wanted to be aggressive, I think this would be a very good fit. You look at what he's already done to this roster with the interior offensive line, adding Ben Johnson, the weapons on the outside. The biggest question mark right now is the running back position. And of course, I think DeAndre Swift will be just fine. And obviously, you're getting him for cheaper. But there's a lot of Bears fans that are concerned that DeAndre Swift is not that every down back. James Cook is that every down back that Ben Johnson is looking for. So you bring in James Cook, you still have Kyle Monangai and Roschon Johnson, and even Ian Willer. And then I think at that point, when you're looking at the running back room, I think we would be in a better spot. Not only that, I do like the aspect of James Cook only sitting at 25 years old. And I think that is where I'm kind of like, ooh, that's very intriguing. And of course, obviously the 4.42 speed as well. And just the idea of what Ben Johnson would be able to do with a guy like James Cook. So it seems like if we do trade DeAndre Swift, free that cap space, I think we would be able to absorb that contract. It's just at that point, if, Ryan Poles and the Bears actually want to do this. And of course, would the Buffalo Bills be interested in taking DeAndre Swift away from the Chicago Bears in a 2026 fourth round pick? So at the end of the day, it's all hypothetical. Not saying that's actually going to happen, but it's definitely an interesting trade idea to think about for the Bears possibly landing a guy like James Cook. So Bears fans, overall, before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. Would this be a trade that you guys would be interested in? That a trade where the Chicago Bears would land star running back James Cook, or are you okay with the current state of the Chicago Bears running back room? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for our all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.